Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a new video in the Magnus Carlsen series. We saw Magnus in action as an 8-year-old little boy, we saw him play as a 9-year-old, and this video is about Magnus when he was 10. It's from the Nordic Youth Championships from 2001, which Carlsen won. This is a game against Erik Blomqvist from Sweden. The funny thing is that both players turned out to become Grandmasters. Carlsen only 3 years later, in 2004, he became a Grandmaster. Blomqvist needed a bit more time and became a Grandmaster in 2013, the same year as Carlsen became World Champion. It's quite a quick game, but where Black makes quite a big mistake in the opening. But that is an instructive mistake, and also I picked this game because it's funny that both 10-year-olds later became such strong players. Let's have a look at the game. e2, e4, Carlsen is white, Blomqvist is black. e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and we're in the Ruy Lopez. a6, bishop a4, knight f6, Carlsen castles, b5, bishop b3, and with d7, d6 we enter the deferred Steinitz defense of the Ruy Lopez. This opening was popular in the early 20th century. We see it in games of Lasker, Tarrasch, Rubinstein, Schlechter, but later it lost its popularity. Rook e1 and knight a5. Not the most common move, the main move is bishop e7, but knight a5 is also playable. Carlsen plays the main theory move, d2, d4. And here Blomqvist should have taken on b3, a takes b3, and after bishop b7 we have a normal position on the board where white is slightly better. But Blomqvist blunders. He takes on d4, and he's not the only one who has committed this crime. I even saw a game from a FIDE master in the database who played the same move, but it is a very bad mistake. It's quite naive to take on d4, looking at the king, which is still in the center, and the white rook is already on e1. You don't want to open the center. You want to make sure you finish your development first and put your king safe. Anyway, Blomqvist took on d4 and Carlsen refuted it. e4, e5, strong move, trying to open up the e-file. d takes e5, black has no choice, and knight takes e5. Now black has two problems. f7 is under attack by both bishop and knight, and also, of course, there's the discovered threat, discovered attack on the king on the e-file. You cannot solve both problems in one move with bishop e6. Looks okay, but it is not, because knight takes f7 comes anyway. You have to take with the king, and then bishop takes e6. The king has to go back to the e-file now. If it goes to g6, it will get checkmated after queen d3 check. And if it goes back to the e-file, then there is, for example, bishop d5 check, and the rook in the corner will go. So bishop e6 does not work. In fact, nothing works here. White is already winning. Blomqvist played bishop e7 to at least cover the discovered attack on the king. Knight takes f7, and here the best way probably is queen d7, at least save the queen. Knight takes h8, and yes, black is a rook down, but he can win the knight back for it and try to play on. For example, knight takes b3 to make sure the knight doesn't return to f7. A takes b3, king f8 on its way to pick up the knight in the corner. And then, for example, just to show you a variation, knight d2, king g8, knight f3, king takes, but then with queen takes d4, white wins another pawn and is easily winning. But it is something that Blomqvist could have tried, because what he plays in the game is worse. He took on b3. He must have thought that he would get bishop and rook for the queen, but it doesn't work out. Magnus took the queen and Blomqvist took the rook. Yes, temporarily he has rook and bishop for the queen, but not for long. Knight c6, the strongest move, and now the bishop on e7 is hanging. Black tried knight d5, protecting e7, but that doesn't work because of queen h5 check, and the knight on d5 will fall. g6, queen takes d5, black played king f8, and here Carlsen misses a mate in 2, not that it matters, but he could have checkmated black here with bishop h6 check, king e8, and rook takes e7 is checkmate. A nice checkmate with 4 pieces. Instead, Carlsen took on e7, picking up even more material. Rook b8, what can you do? And now there was another mate in 2 that Carlsen could have given with bishop h6 check, king e8, and now knight takes c8 is checkmate. Also a nice picture. Carlsen played queen d8 check, and there's another checkmate coming. King g7, queen takes d4 check, king f7, and the rook goes. It's a massacre. Here Blomqvist plays knight takes c2. There is a famous saying in chess, if you're dying, you're allowed to eat everything. And black ate that little pawn there on c2. But now it's mate in 2, queen g8 check, king f6, and queen f8 checkmate. Later that year, Magnus Carlsen would receive his first official FIDE rating of 2064. By the time he probably was already quite a bit stronger than that. It happens a lot with youth players that the official rating cannot keep up with their playing strength. But it was Carlsen's first rating on the rating list in 2001. A light game, a quick win. Hope you found it instructive, and if you play this Schlechter variation of the Ruy Lopez, make sure not to take on d4 too soon. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. This is Rick from Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.